Hello everyone, welcome back to Good Enough Counsellors and Therapists. And today I thought I would talk about dealing with overwhelm, because especially at this time of year, we can begin to feel we've got so much on our plates. There's so much to do. And also perhaps some of us are looking forward to 2020 and thinking about the new year and the things that we want to get done. Perhaps we need to earn more money in our business, for example. And so the feelings can begin to rise within us of there's so much to do and I don't know how I'm going to be able to do it. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today, and just some practical tips for helping you to deal with the feelings of being overwhelmed. Because when I feel overwhelmed, what tends to happen is I might start waking up in the night and not being able to go back to sleep again. I find that I'm sitting at my desk and my brain just isn't working because there's so many things in my brain and I'm just thinking, oh, where do I start? Where do I start? And I can begin to feel quite fearful as well, because I know I'm not getting anything done and it feels like there's so much to do, but I can't sort it out. And so I just want to talk about the ways that we can help ourselves with when we've got feelings like this. And I know one of the things that can happen, especially when you're starting up in private practice, or if you're attempting to make your private practice bigger, is it can just feel that there's so much to do and you don't know where to start. And that's what I'd like to talk about today. And do say hello if you're watching. So what do you do when you are feeling like you're just running hither and thither and you can't work out what to do next and it feels like your brain is shutting down? I would say the first thing to do is just to stop. And often that's the hardest thing to do, isn't it? Is to actually make ourselves stop. But we need to give ourselves a few moments. And obviously, as counsellors, we all know the importance of acknowledging our feelings, because if we don't stop, if we don't acknowledge our feelings, we're going to be rushing headlong into burnout. We might be doing things that numb ourselves and our feelings down. So we might be overeating, we might be drinking, we might be indulging in all these rescuing behaviours that mean that we're not actually acknowledging what our feelings are. And so it's helpful if we can just stop and admit to ourselves actually how we're feeling and do whatever we need to do at that point to allow those feelings expression. It might be that you might want to journal about them, you might want to punch the proverbial cushion, just anything it takes just to allow those feelings to be there, have a cry, whatever it is. Just let the feelings, acknowledge them, let them out. And then when you're feeling a little bit calmer, the next thing to do is to get a piece of paper and a pen and write down everything that's on your mind. And what you're doing here is you're clearing your brain out. It's a bit like cleaning the fridge when you get rid of all the stuff that you don't need because it's gone off. And you chuck it out and you've then got room, and you feel so much better if you're putting your food in a clean fridge. It's that sort of exercise. You're just letting everything get out of your brain and onto paper. And once it's on paper, you can actually then take a little bit more of a view as to what's important. And once you've done that, then you need to really categorize what the most important thing is. So for example, if you are looking to increase your client numbers in 2020, what can you do to help yourself? What's the most helpful marketing thing that you could do that would move you forward to reaching more clients in 2020? So you could ask yourself that question. Out of all these things that you've got written down, if income generation is the thing, and it usually is the thing if we're running our private practice, that's what we're about, then that's the thing we've got to concentrate on. And you might want to have your sort of top 3 goals as those are the things that you're going to concentrate on. But maybe the top 3 things that are going to make the most impact in the next 24 hours. And it might be that you've been feeling overwhelmed because you've been procrastinating because there's something there that you don't want to do. But it's helpful to think that when that's out of the way, you won't have to do it anymore, and you can just get it out of the way and get it done. And then once it's done, it's done. And that will help you to then be able to move on to the next thing. So it's really helpful to, when you're categorizing, is to think, what's my goal? What is it that I'm trying to achieve? And often if you're sort of doubtful about anything, then income generation is the goal to choose, because that's the most important thing. And if you know you've got clients and money coming in, that helps you to relax a bit, and then you can start working on some of your other goals. Now, it's really important as well, when you're categorizing and when you're looking at your goals, that you've actually got time for you built into that, because that's usually the thing that goes first, isn't it? When we're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, we forget about ourselves. But actually, if you think about it, we are our business. We are our business's most important resource. And therefore, it's really important that we look after ourselves, because we're the people, it's us as a person. Without us, our business doesn't work. So it's really important that we are very high on the priority list. And sometimes when you're categorizing, you have to let go of stuff that perhaps you do want to do, but there isn't the time for it. And so there's also that willingness to let go and to set your boundaries as well, to actually think to yourself, in order to get this done, I do need to prioritize, and that does mean that I need to set boundaries in place. And it's perhaps boundaries for yourself and boundaries for perhaps members of your family or friends, the things that you will and won't do, the time that you're prepared to put into certain activities. And that's where it's important to come back to your goal. What's your goal? Because the goal helps you to shape your priority. So there's just a few thoughts there about how to help yourself deal with the overwhelm, especially at this time of year when you still want to be working on your business, but there's also other things going on as well. So do have some time for you. This is an important time for getting together with other people and spending time with others. So, include that as well in your priorities, but also think about, what your goal is. And if it's to get more clients and income generation, then that's the thing to prioritize. Other stuff can actually wait. Now, this is something that I help people with. I encourage people and help them to do things like set boundaries in their business. We look at all the distractions that might come up. We look at the ways in which your mindset can cause you problems as well and stop you from growing your business. So if you'd be interested in working with me to create more clients for your business in 2020, then please do get in touch and we can have a little bit of a chat about what your ideas are, what it is you're trying to achieve, and whether or not I'd be the person who could help you with that. So I'd love to speak to you. If that's the case, do book in for a call, and we can talk more on the call about what it is that you need. Okay, lovely to chat to you. Take care for now. Bye.